Welcome back to Tactical Labs 101. I'm Justin, and this is my fighting pistol. Alright, so this is a Springfield Echelon 4.5 comp. As you can see, it's the full-size version. This is a little bit different, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But yeah, this is my kind of fighting pistol, if you will. Last time we talked about this, which is my 43X for concealed carry. And this one is full size. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for size comparison, as you can see, this is my EDC smaller pistol. This is my full size fighting pistol. The good thing about this one, if you missed that video, you can go back and watch that one. That was the first video on this channel, basically. This is a slimline pistol, you know, easier to conceal, things like that. And this one is meant not to be concealed, so that's why it's bigger. So I'll throw a photo up of what the stock Echelon looks like. The reason why I went with this is because this is the Sharps Bros Echelon grip module. So there's some kind of confusion with this gun, which I'll attempt to explain here real quick. So slide up top is a full size slide, 4.5 with a comp built in from Springfield. Full size slide, this is a compact grip. And so the cool thing about the Echelon is that their chassis inside here, they call it the COG system, I believe, Central Operating Group. That can be removed, and that's the serialized part that's actually the firearm, similar to how SIG did that with the P320 and the P365. But basically it allows you to remove that chassis and get a different grip, different slides, different things like that. And those pieces are all considered accessories, not the firearm. The actual chassis is the serialized part. So you can get a grip module and have it shipped directly to your house versus something like this, which this grip module is actually serialized underneath that light. And so to get a different grip module, you have to go through an FFL, do a background check, the whole thing, as if you're buying a whole pistol, even if you're just buying the grip. Definitely one of the cool things I like about this. The reason why I wanted this combination is because I wanted a aluminum grip. So that's what this is.
My Nazi knock-knock joke, Lewis?
No. Who's there?
We will ask the questions!
Some might not be, but I'm a fan of the dust shield kind of sticking out a little bit towards the end there. I kind of like that look, 1911-ish. This one is the black with Brazilian cherry grips. They have a couple different variations of this that you can get, different colors as well as different grip materials. These are removable, and so you can swap them out for different ones. I think that's something that I kind of wanted to do down the road too, just to, you know, periodically change up the look. I'll throw up some options here. I believe it's VZ Grips who has some different ones that they sell for it. But yeah, that's the grip module. Up top, there's a O-Sight SE, I believe. Maybe somewhat controversial. O-Light started getting into making sights, and this is the second one that I've had. I had their micro one, which is like, I believe, a K footprint for a concealed pistol I used to have that I ended up getting rid of. I liked it because it direct mounts straight to the slide with no plate. That's another cool thing about these mounting systems for Springfield, is they basically made little lugs that you put into the slide depending on what footprint that you're trying to mount, and it avoids the need for plates. I can get into more if we get super focused on optics and optic systems and things like that, but I digress.
Oh, you think you fancy?
Anyways, O-Sight, no real issues with it. I do like this one. Has kind of like, if you're familiar with the standard EOTech sight or reticle, they call it like the donut of death. That's sort of what this one looks like. It's got a donut on the outside, and then I believe it's a 2 MOA dot in the middle. So far, no real issues with it. I like that similar to Hollow Sun, they have like a shake awake feature, so the optic's not always on. So help conserve some battery life, so I like that about that. And so far, haven't really had any real issues with it, and if you can save money on something, why not? Again, kind of cost comparison differences between like this and a Hollow Sun. You're talking about hundreds of dollars in difference in price. So for now, I'm going to rock this, and we'll kind of see how it performs, and maybe that'll be an update I'll share with you guys later on. The other thing that's on this is a TLR 7X Streamlight. So this I like. I think I have TLR 7s or some variant of Streamlight on every pistol. There's varying degrees of people's opinions on whether or not you need a weapon light or not. Should you have one? Should you not? I err on the side of I'd rather have it. Oh my gosh, how's that go?
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So a lot of times I think the reason why the conversation gets started is because there's not really a context for using the light aside from a self-defense situation or when you're going to fire or at night you need to see. Sometimes what I think happens is people think, oh, I've got a weapon light. If I've got my weapon on me, I can pull it out and shine it and look at something. But you shouldn't be doing that. If you do that, that means that you are pointing a firearm potentially at someone. And you don't want to be doing that. So again, kind of maybe a deeper dive subject for another time. I would like it if this light stuck out a little bit further like this one does. So as you can see, the light kind of sticks out further, not too far in this case because the compensator's there, but that helps so that if you have to prop the gun up against something, or if you're in a self-defense scenario and you have to push the gun into something or someone, it doesn't push the slide back out of battery. One of the things you can do to help mitigate that is you can take your thumb, push it up against the slide so that if you push against something, it doesn't push the slide out of battery. The disadvantage of this, you're only going to get one shot. After that, you're not going to be able to fire anymore because the spent cartridge will still be inside here. You stopped the slide from reciprocating, so it can't extract that round. So the only other way to continue to fight would be to rack the slide and then get back on target. So in a self-defense situation, you could potentially, jab it into someone if you have to, hold, pull the trigger, and then back, rack, and then get back to work. Again, I think that's more of like a self-defense tactic, a subject for another video. Other than that, there's no real changes to the pistol. No changing to the trigger group. And I think that's kind of something you'll notice with my pistols in general, is that I don't like to mess with the internal mechanisms when it comes to the things in the systems that operate the firearm. I'm definitely a fan of changing out the grips, changing out the grip module, slides sometimes. You'll see that with the next pistol we talk about. Yeah, so that's my Springfield Echelon fighting pistol. It's one of my favorites. I feel like I don't get to shoot it quite as much as I'd like, because I do concentrate primarily on the EDC gun, because that's the gun that's going to be on me, and I want to be proficient, and in a self-defense situation I want to know and have that muscle memory for how to manipulate, how to clear malfunctions, how to do all those things, which again, we'll kind of talk more about that I think in another video, maybe when we're out on the range, and talk about the different types of malfunctions and how to clear them, that kind of stuff. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one.